Well, they offered me the job of writing the film, and I said yes, you know. And then as I was writing it, I fell more and more in love with the idea of directing it. I mean, that's the dastardly scheme that Jason Blum had up his sleeve, was he kind of knew that if I wrote it, I would fall in love with it, and I kind of did. And I didn't want to see someone else mess it up. I wanted to be the one to mess it up.
Were you always interested in directing?
Yeah, I think I always said I was, in that token way that actors say, like, what I really want to do is direct. You know, I went to film school to be a director and made a terrible short film that will never see the light of day. I've buried every last copy of it. So in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, I'll direct one day, but like most things in my life, it wasn't like I clawed for it and scrambled and fought for it. It was just kind of dropped in my lap. Jason Blum was like, well, James is off directing Furious 7. Do you want to do it? And I was like, okay, sure. And I found out I enjoyed it. I thought I was going to hate it, but I actually enjoyed directing.
What about the process that you enjoyed?
What I enjoyed was making the final decisions that you make in writing. I've spent my whole career, every screenwriter knows, you sit there and you say, you know, she walks into the room, she picks up a baseball bat. Then you hand it off to someone else and watch them choose the baseball bat. Or you watch them go, you know what, I don't like baseball bats. Let's make it a tennis racket. And you're like, no, it's not meant to be a tennis racket. What I liked about directing is that you finish what you started. You type that sentence and then you go in and the production designer says to you, which baseball bat? I've got a Louisville Slugger, I got a new one, an old one, metal, wood, and all these decisions. That's what I loved, is that decision making.
How close did it come to what you originally wrote then?
Very close. Honestly, the one thing I can say about this film, I'm not going to say, if, you know, I hope other people enjoy it, but I'm not going to tell other people what to think of the movie. But for me, it's exactly what I set out to make, which is, I think I've heard from other directors, as good as you can hope for in this world of filmmaking.
And what about your process you think brought you to that area? Because that is very hard.
I think I know the world very well. You know, it's the third film, so it wasn't like I was just inventing a whole new world. There was a precedent that had been set with the look of the further, and I knew that if I just stuck to that, but I also didn't want it to be a carbon copy of what James did. You know, he has a really specific style, I think, that's his. So I tried to bring my own feeling to it, which I think is a little dirtier, a little more, for want of a better term, realistic, a little more realistic. We are talking about a ghost movie, but yeah, I wanted it to be more Friedkin-esque, you know, and less Argento. But you know, I love the other films, and I hope this film lives up to it.
How do you feel that it'll be more like Friedkin?
In the sense that what Friedkin did with The Exorcist is just treat it like a documentary. You know, it's that very real feeling of like we're not heightening anything. We're not going to have bright primary colors coming through the window, that sort of Argento, Mario Bava style of heightened horror, which I loved. I love stylized horror films. I just didn't want to go that way. I wanted to ground it a little more, you know, and that's what I tried to do. I don't know if I succeeded, but that's what I tried.